Good afternoon, dear colleagues. We continue our working day, and the topic of the next press briefing is 3 months of Armia FM work. And our guests are Lieutenant Yana Kholodna and also Sergiy Telyatytskyi, head of Armia FM, and also Jim Hake, CEO, charity organization Spirit of America, and Oleksiy Makukhin, advisor to the Minister of Defense of Ukraine. Welcome on stage. Good afternoon. Thank you for coming. 3 months ago, we conducted a press conference here, and we were speaking about our intentions to start Armia FM. And I'm very glad to say that we have the opportunity to report on what was done during these 3 months. And we started broadcasting on the 1st of March, so these are 3 months. So the main facts. As of today, we are present in FM in 4 cities: Kramatorsk, Konstantinovka, Bakhmut, and recently Pokrovsk. Moreover, we have broadcasting to other places in Mykolaiv, Izum, and Kirovograd. And from the very start, we are present on the internet, Svoyo Radio platform, and SoundCloud programs, and we also available through satellite everywhere in the territory of not only our country but in Eurasia. And our broadcasting was started, and we will speak about it in more detail. So we broadcast 24 hours a day. Several words about organizational structure of our organization. The Armia FM station is the department of the Military Central Broadcasting Studio, that is the part of the Ministry of Defense. There are 9 specialists, 6 military personnel, and others are civilians. And we have several people who work with us as volunteers. Andrei Kulikov, a famous journalist who work with us, and also there are some talented individuals whom we found among military personnel, and they now cooperate with Armia FM. And we are glad to say that 3 people, they were mobilized and they decided to sign a contract with the armed forces in order to continue cooperation with Armia FM to serve. And it shows that the work is really important at our broadcasting station. And we are very glad that Jim Hake is present here today, CEO charity organization Spirit of America. And due to the financial help of this organization, the launch of this broadcast was possible. So we got financing to create a studio in Kiev that has been created and open, and we are glad to invite everyone. And we did a first marathon, and we want to continue it, and we got financing for the studio and for broadcasters, 3 broadcasting stations in each area, and we want to develop in the sphere, and we are going to discuss this later. So these are the photos, how the studio looks. It is in the office building on Grushevsky Street on the 4th floor. And before, these premises were used as storage facility for outdated things. And we created a studio there. There are large premises. We invite everyone to visit, and several words about ADO area, about equipment, about transmitters. I would like to give the floor to Telyatytskyi, who is the head of the department of Armia FM. Thank you. Good afternoon. As to the transmitters in ATO area, the transmitters of Armia FM are established in 3 settlements, Konstantinovka, Kramatorsk, and Bakhmut. And we used towers, broadcasting towers that were in good locations. And as to Kramatorsk, we used a house because there were no towers there. The transmitters are established in the premises of the channels and where there is a monitoring of their work, and they are monitored how they work. Also, the scheme of the work of this broadcasting. The studio is in Kiev, in office building, and from there the signal is transmitted to the satellite, and it provides the opportunity, as Oleksiy told you. This signal can be taken from different locations in Europe, and this signal can be received in any part of Ukraine and in any settlement with the use of equipment, satellite equipment. You can use a tuner, you can get the signal, and they are transmitted to the transmitters, and we also use telecommunication agencies technology and the wave 105.3, and also we used for the first time in Ukraine the process of simultaneous broadcasting that allows the listeners from moving from one settlement to another to stay in the same wave and to get the signal, quality signal that simplifies the tuning and also provides the opportunity to listen to the radio station. Thank you very much.
I would like to underline that this is a technical experiment conducted for the first time in Ukraine. So getting the new place, you are not to change the wave, because you know, even big broadcasting networks, when you listen to your receiver, you change the frequency, but our frequency is not to be changed when you move from one place to another place, and it is frequency 105.3 FM. When we last submitted applications for frequencies, we have not yet received licenses, so we rebroadcast at frequencies of Bleak radio station. Then about policy issues, as we told at our first press conference, our radio broadcasting should be interested for soldiers. That is why we have a goal to make it more to contain of entertainment. 70 or 80% music, rock, folk, pop music, 80% of Ukrainian rock music. This is Ukrainian product, although some of it is not in Ukrainian language. Western rock music, 50%. So I would like to give the floor to Yana. She will tell more about some programs, our key programs. We have about 15 programs so far. Thank you, audience, for listening to us for 3 months. We have been working. We started with music, and now we have a rather good broadcasting agenda. We consider and take account of the needs of our soldiers. The main morning programs is Troops Get Up. At 7 o'clock it starts. This is morning show, and its host is famous figure. The host told main news of the day. He has also some humorous news from Russia. It's entertainment and humoristic morning show plus music. An important project is best regards to ATO soldiers. Relatives and friends of military men call to our studio, and even Kramatorsk and Bakhmut residents call to our studio. They thank us and they thank soldiers for their peaceful life, and so this program is very useful and interesting for you ATO soldiers. We also have other interesting programs, Heroes of Modern World, and one of our top products is a polygraph program. Andrei Kulikov is its host. It's a hard talk type show. We invite top guests, top managers of the Ministry of Defense and General Staff. It is not censored, and telephone calls are received, and any questions are raised before those top managers of defense agencies. The other programs also contain topics of interest for military men. Roberta Morales hosts sports news at 11 o'clock a.m. and 5 o'clock p.m. Twice a day. And we also prepare Sport Time, new project which will be broadcast every Monday in future. Dmitro Chikalkin also provides his humorous small programs between other programs, and we started also English lessons and chaplain word program. This is support from religious actors. All those programs are in demand from the soldiers, so when soldiers can listen to our programs, they can hear how people support them all over Ukraine. On April 12, we conducted Radio Marathon. It was dedicated to the start of ATO operation in Ukraine. Every hour we had different guests, psychologists, military men, magicians, and all of them have been telling what they have been doing for 2 years of ATO, and we will also broadcast, we will prepare such programs in future and broadcast them. The first outcomes of our activities, the number of listeners, we think we will provide precise figures in June. Today we can say about our internet listeners. Since March 1st, this is more than 70,000 persons. We are most popular radio broadcast from internet Ukrainian radios. We have more than 3,000 subscribers on Facebook. They are not only military men, they are also relatives of military men. And I would like to give the word to Jim Hake at 3:00 a.m. He and Sergiy returned from ATO. Please tell us your impressions.
Great to be back at UCMC. And despite our 3 a.m. arrival from the ATO zone, I think we are very excited to be talking to you today. As background, my organization, Spirit of America, is a private, non-profit charity based in the United States. And we are supported by American citizens. We do not receive any government funding, and we are not part of the United States government. We are entirely citizen-supported. Our American people contribute to support the work that we do here in Ukraine. And we represent a new category of philanthropy. Philanthropy that takes the side of America's troops and diplomats and the people and partners that they seek to help. So everything we do helps those troops and diplomats, and in the case of Ukraine, the brave Ukrainians who are on the front lines of defending your freedom. So not many people outside of Ukraine understand that Russia started a war here, and because of that, more than 10,000 people have been killed. So working with our troops and diplomats in Ukraine, I'm proud that Spirit of America has been part of and been able to contribute to Ukraine's defense of your freedom and independence. We understand that Ukraine's fight is a fight for civilization, not only a fight for Ukraine. To date, we have provided NATO standard first aid kits to Ukrainian soldiers being trained by American soldiers in the West. We've provided support for the mobile comms groups that have been launched and operating in the ATO zone, and also targeted humanitarian assistance on the front lines. But our biggest commitment, and the project we're especially excited about, is Armia FM. And back in December, we announced that we were going to be supporting Armia FM. We have provided 3 transmitters that are operating and transmitting the Armia FM signal on the front lines. And we provided the equipment needed to equip and launch the studio here in Kyiv. But with any idea, it may be a good idea to a certain set of people, but you never know how it's going to work until you try it. And I'm very happy to say that in the time that we spent in the ATO zone over the last few days, the feedback on Armia FM is just extraordinary. The idea has worked, and it's been executed by Oleksiy and his team and the Armia FM team extremely well. So we found that Armia FM was listened to from loudspeakers on bases, it was listened to in vehicles, listened to on private receivers, and listened to on mobile phones. The main feedback was actually great feedback to get. And I would say the main feedback was soldiers said, finally, what took so long? And the soldiers on the front lines have been bombarded by Russian and separatist propaganda for over 2 years now. So the idea that there was finally a source of information and entertainment designed expressly for them was important to them and extremely well received. It was a clear demonstration to them that the Ukrainian people are on their side and are connected to them. There was great engagement in the content on the station. One soldier, we had about a 15-minute conversation with one soldier who was giving ideas for music programming. And he was giving these ideas because his 16-year-old son had been listening to Armia FM and was giving him input on what the music programming should be. And that was very interesting. When you have an audience that is that interested in the content or programming of a station or any media product, it's a great sign. The greetings from fellow citizens throughout the country were very popular. And I would say the soldiers that we talked to were interested in more of everything, and especially the interactive programming, where they, on the front lines, could speak with officials, both armed forces and civilian officials back here in Kyiv, and ask questions and have their needs and interests attended to. So it's been a great success so far, but there's far more to do. And in our view, Armia FM deserves additional support and can make a real impact if it achieves that support. Most important are additional transmitters to broaden the reach of the signal of Armia FM on the front lines. The goal is to have every soldier on the front lines in the ATO zone be able to listen to Armia FM. And we know that if soldiers have that access to Armia FM, they will listen, and it will have a very positive effect on their effectiveness and their morale. So Spirit of America is committed to continue to help Armia FM. And today, I'm very pleased to announce that we are launching a $200,000 fundraising campaign to buy all the additional transmitters that are needed to expand Armia FM signal in the ATO zone, and also in the West where Ukrainian soldiers are being trained. So to contribute, people can go directly to our website, which is www.spiritofamerica.org, and click on Ukraine. And then there's an important note about this, especially important, I think, with online fundraising and crowdfunding. Spirit of America makes a 100% promise. And what that means is that 100% of any donated dollar, any donated hryvnia, will go directly to purchase the equipment that Armia FM needs. Our administrative expenses are provided for by other supporters that we have in the United States. So every dollar contributed to this $200,000 campaign will go to buy transmitters and exactly what the Armia FM team needs to continue to be successful. So we hope that everyone will contribute to this effort and see that Armia FM continues to have great success and realizes the full potential of the not just good idea, but great idea that Armia FM is. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you. Several words about international contacts that we have. Today there was an article in the Wall Street Journal about Armia FM, a large article with pictures, and also other editions are interested, and we have a cooperation with Deutsche Welle, National Public Radio. That is one of the main broadcasting network in the United States, and they also create a program about our radio station, and also we have many contacts with Ukrainian media and journalists. So, next tasks. So, promotion campaign in the regions where these transmitters are established, and servicemen and civilians should know about the frequencies, and they should know about the content. So Jim told us about this, and maybe it will be solved like this. We search for financing in order to develop Armia FM, and we are grateful to Jim that he said about the support of his organization of Armia FM, and the important task for us, very important, to get the license for frequencies in ATO and in Kiev, and we believe that Kiev is principally important for any state radio station, especially military radio station, because in Kiev there are a lot of servicemen, and also there are central bodies of military and all the military departments. And for officers of this department, it is important to listen and to hear their own media. So the separate task is broadening of coverage of the signal and to provide easy access to our broadcast. We have planned coverage, what places we need to cover in Donetsk and Lugansk oblasts in order to cover all ATO area. And also, we believe that Kiev is a very important issue, and also we should develop in other large cities and also on firing grounds where a lot of servicemen are present. Can I add? I would like to thank Jim and your organization, because without Spirit of America, there won't be any Armia FM. So this help is really valuable for us and for people we work for. And there is a great feedback from the community, from volunteer organizations, from everyone who help us now. Oleksiy told us about it, the initiative of our people. They want this radio in Nikolaev, and we know that we are broadcasting in Izum and Kirovograd, and we are broadcasting 0 positions in the Zaitsev and Avdiivka. We know the situation there, and we know that it is important that our servicemen should feel our support. And in the context of this, on behalf of Armia FM, to address the Council on Radio and TV Broadcasts, please hear us. We should have a frequency in ATO area and Kiev. It is not important for us. We are not commercial project. We do not get money. It is important for people, for those people who are defending our nation. And starting from the 8th of February, when we applied and we tried to go along the way, and they didn't get us an official answer. And there is a great contrast, because Ukrainians, they understand us, Americans understand us, but our officials, they do not want to hear us, and they should. And I want to stress that from Armia FM and all those people who listen to us in the ATO area, we should address to National Council, please allocate a frequency for us. Thank you. So this is the end of this part of the briefing. Do you have some comments, questions?
Alexander Yagolnik, I have a question to Jim. Jim, tell us please, what is your opinion when in Ukraine such funds as Spirit of America will appear in Ukraine, for example, Spirit of Ukraine? Are there any volunteers, organizations in the USA like this?
And one of the things that has been most encouraging for me to see is the great volunteer spirit of the Ukrainian people. Since the war began, since the conflict began, people from all across the country here have stepped up to support your armed forces in every way imaginable. And one of the things that we look for as an organization is whether we can help people help themselves, but there's no way to help people who don't want to help themselves. And what's clear from everyone that we've talked to involved in this project and with the volunteer organizations and more broadly in Ukraine is that the Ukrainian people have a great desire and capacity to help themselves, and they're doing that. And we provided a small bit of support that served as a catalyst to get Armia FM off the ground. But the real effort and real credit goes to the Armia FM team, who have done an extraordinary job to get everything launched.
Дякую, Джиме. Дякую, колеги. На цій ноті змушені вже завершувати. Дякую, що прийшли.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you for coming, and we wish you every success, and we will see you soon, I hope. The next press briefing will be in several minutes.